Little Hand says it's time to rock and roll.
Bring the noise.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Good evening, folks, and welcome to the E-Tims podcast. My name is Desi and Monty, and on this Cup final preview, I'm looking forward to chatting tonight with Hector Bandido. Good evening, Hector.
Evening, guys.
I normally say the man in the suburbs, but Hector's just been telling him his travel plans for going to watch Celtic in a very exotic location tomorrow, so we may find out later, possibly, or he may be hiding. Depends how quickly. What's your dark and stormy are we drinking tonight, Hector?
Yes, it's a lovely bit of cracking rum with ginger beer and a wee dash of lime. It's beautiful.
Lovely, that's cracking. So there we go, lovely. And then the man across the water, Monty C for champions now. Burns, good evening, Monty.
Evening, Desi. Evening, lads.
Thank you for joining us. The C, of course, could apply to Cup final, but we'll come to that. Let's just step back a little bit in time. The last time we had a chat was just before the end of the season, and of course, we were all hoping everything would go fine. Hector, I'll give you your due. He said Celtic would come out and blitz Kilmarnock, and that's the only word I think sums it up. That was what the best performance of the season.
Yes, and Desi, and I had to reassure you at the end of the podcast, right, that goal difference wouldn't come into it, right? So, but you deserve that. Right? But listen,
Okay,
you're
folks,
right.
we'll have to cover the podcast there. Thanks for listening. Good night.
Thanks for being you. They were brilliant, weren't they? And the only talking point when the team was announced was Idah starting instead of Kyogo, really, wasn't it? And I get it, one or two folk going, oh, it's a strange one. And Rodgers proving right yet again. Big Idah had easily his best game for Celtic. He terrorised that defence. First goal was basically him bullying the centre half. Chris Boyd at half time demanding a free kick, as did Derek McInnes, never a free kick. But then everything just clicked into gear. The front three, Maeda, Forrest, and Idah, was just fantastic. And the midfield triangle, that keep talking about it. It's now the pace they're moving the ball at. You know, it's no longer this 3-4 touches and lifting the head and taking that extra second, dithering on the ball. It's moving. Even if it goes backwards, it's moving at pace to recycle the ball. And it was brilliant. 5-0 in the end, but it was a champion's performance. It was actually a fitting performance to win the league, I felt, on that night.
Yeah, definitely. And Monty, Maeda had said after the Rangers game, champions tomorrow, whatever it was, like he tweeted something like, we will be champions tomorrow. And you could see that intent through the whole team, but especially for your boy Idah. That was a sensational. When you're needing to prove yourself, and I think he did need to prove himself in a lot of people's eyes, that was quite a game. He actually had produced that performance, wasn't it?
And I think also, Desi, part of it's not just, I think it's not just proving himself. I think it's also when you start finding a home. You know, footballers talk about finding a place that they belong, you know, and where they can express themselves. That was the real sort of pinnacle of, I think, him being comfortable playing for Celtic. He's still so much development in him, but he was somewhere between a Sutton and a Hartson, and I don't say that lightly. He fucking terrorised Kilmarnock on his own. His link-up play, his hold-up play, that first goal was, as Hector said, just bullying the centre half. Great to see. Strange that we don't have a buy clause for him, but I don't think it'll change the young fella's mind. All the noises that he's making is he wants to stay, and it's what's being reported over here. So we'll get the cup final out of the way and then do a deal. Now, it opens up other questions too around is he the best option in that price bracket? But what a performance, Desi. Superb.
Yeah, and again, I had made a few notes regards talking points, but I think we'll just park the whole next season stroke this season who we're signing for an end of season review podcast. You know what I mean? Yep. So I thought, because we'll get plenty to talk about tonight. But again, like that Kilmarnock game, it was like the night before had been quite funny when Dundee went 2-0 up at Ibrox. It was quite a strange week couple of days. I know Rangers ended up dubbing them, but that was so funny. And then just to watch that Kilmarnock game, 12 minutes the league's won. I mean, it was like, wow, that was like we never, okay, we expect them to win, so to speak, but it was just brilliant. I mean, it was just brilliant. And that was a big marker. I mean, like, you could kind of see as if this is the level we can go to. And even some of the commentary team were still saying, look, so there's still another few levels there. You know what I mean? So,
Desi, so just on that, I thought I'd check our record over our unbeaten record to the end of the season, the end of the league season, including the cup games. Since that game at Tynecastle when Beaton had a fantastic game for Rangers, I think we've played now 12 games. We've won 11 and drawn 1. And the only one we drew was at Ibrox, when for 60, 55 minutes we blew them away, and we all know about the dubious penalty. So the point is, I think Roger said that after we thumped, was it Hearts? It might have been after we beat Rangers in the league game at Celtic Park, and he certainly said it again after we thumped Kilmarnock. He goes, the season's coming to an end too soon for the team.
You're only getting going.
You've now got all the players back. And it actually justifies his comments because, well, all of us, including us guys in the podcast, let's get back a few podcasts when we had the fat lady almost singing. Let's be blunt about it. Let's get back to early February. He remained calm throughout, and he kept reinforcing, look, we'll be missing some massive players for how we want to play. And he had to strike a balance without trying to downplay the performances and support he's had from the squad players, if you like. We know that. It's good management. He has to. So he's got to choose his words right. But the message you keep, in effect, saying is, once we get Carter Vickers back, once we get Rio back, once we get Callum back, Idah, you will see the real Celtic. And he's been proven absolutely right. We're like chalk and cheese. We're playing some fantastic football now, which obviously we'll talk about more as we get into tomorrow's game.
Yep, fair enough. So that was the midweek game. League was won, fantastic, amazing scenes back at Celtic Park. It was basically the drone CSC has had a great couple of weeks following Celtic. For all the fans outside Celtic Park, Brendan's, I'll see you back here in May, being justified, etc. And it was just great to see. But then it came to Party Saturday. So Hector, you and I have the joy of actually being able to go every week. You know what I mean? And that was just a wonderful occasion.
It's great. We went down, me and my youngest, he's 18 now. We went down a little bit early because we wanted to go to Celtic Way, because you sit in the posh seats around there, and obviously I'm room with the poorer area around the corner. And
TV.
we thought
The tables turn when it comes to living quarters.
So we thought we'd go there, and we got there just in time as Joe Hart led the way up the Celtic Way. It was a beautiful day. It was about 25 degrees. It was scorching, but it was just great. Just seeing all that, the applause they got, walking up there. Joe Hart's last game at Celtic Park, how great he's been for the 3 seasons with us. Then the players went in, and you know better than me, that area, but there's thousands mulling around, and it was just a party atmosphere. It was really, really nice. Then get to the stadium, it's a party atmosphere. St Mirren go up twice, it's still a party atmosphere, which doesn't happen. Guy next to me said, imagine the league wasn't won and St Mirren went up 1-0 or 2-1. He goes, imagine the comments. I pissed myself laughing. I go, you can get at me, fuck. You get to fuck as well.
I swear to God, there's a guy who sits in the row behind me, and it's, Coon, you're shite, get to fuck. Constantly, it doesn't matter what he's done. Even when they're warming up, that way is, and I'm going, I guarantee that guy gives him abuse today. That way the league's won. Somebody didn't even turn up. But no way, I went, I guarantee he'll still give him abuse for not getting the ball in early enough, or no taking on a man. All he ever does is shout, shite bag. And you're like, here we go. The day of all days. But again, but you saw the defence, and it was like, okay, we'll rest Carter Vickers, we'll rest Scales. Scales had to come on eventually. But it was just, again, I love a perfect day. As you said, Joe Hart carrying the trophy up Celtic Way. You know what I mean? A nice wee send-off. Monty, you never managed to make it over?
No, I got to watch all of the coverage, probably from about 11:45, which was nice. And you get that, well, there's nothing beats being there. Just that, the context, and watching the guys even in the studio on the wind-up, and it's just good value. So it was. And I think, Desi, the way the season played out and that week in itself, you're only half joking about, could you imagine how tense it would have been going into that last game? And the manner in which we won the league against Kilmarnock, I'm struggling to think when the heat was on, when we put in such a dominant performance to win the league in these recent sort of dominant times. But the coverage was great. The party atmosphere that you both talk about came across brilliantly. And Sky did actually a very good job. As much as I loathe the fuckers, they did a good job in really, really amping it up for us. And even in the after, the interviews after the game and how they talked through the season. So it looked like a fantastic occasion. And as much as I would have loved to have been there, to be fair, they put on a good production for us to amp up the fact that we'd done it. So it made for a reasonable sort of second prize for me anyway. Not being.
I thought just talking about Joe Hart, I thought the start of the second half when he comes on and where I said before, the Green Brigade on the lower section of the corner where we sit, we're in the top section, but we're at the front of the top section, so basically sitting right above them. And when Joe Hart, so we see the players coming out of the tunnel, coming straight, especially Joe coming to our direction, and you see them walking over and just staring at that kind of corner section, because the Green Brigade in particular have been phenomenal in terms of backing him. And he was just standing there staring. And it was actually quite emotional. It genuinely was sitting there and thinking, this
the
guy...
camera caught it.
His tifo was a cracking tifo. I don't know if everybody realised or not. Like a lot of tifos this year. Like I managed to capture one of the recent ones whereby it was like the Celtic Heart, but underneath the heart, or the lights going off, flashing lights. And then the Joe Hart one, it was the tifo, but then they had the flare, as if he was actually that image of holding the flare, remember? So the actual tifo had an actual real flare, no, it was like a wee combo.
And Sky showed you that, and that's right, Sky. And that was the thing. So I was going to say, so the Green, so Joe was staring. He comes out staring over, and it was a good 30 seconds plus, just staring there, right? As Desi's point, and then the Green Brigade put up the tifo to him. And you just seen him being absolutely taken aback by it. Again, I haven't seen the TV pictures because I'm there, but he's about, 30, 40 metres away. But you can see enough to know that I think he's fucking going to go here in terms of emotions taking over.
He slapped himself in the head to get himself back tuned in. He was totally took back. But the thing the TV didn't show you, and Desi just touched upon there, so when they put up the Joe Hart, then all the green smoke, and I mean, it was... What was it like, Desi? It was covered the whole section. It's a disgrace.
I can hardly taste my prawn sandwiches.
And it's just a pity that Sky never caught that for the folks overseas, because it must have been obviously I can't see it, but you could have seen it, Desi. It must have been some image.
No, it was good. As I say, it's great. I just love the fact it's great how it's just your standard tifo and then it's some like an interactive part. Like they've done that a few times, so fair play to them. One of my favourite points, this we're talking there was a few like where I sat, so just to the left of me you had like the Sky on pitch side, so you see James McFadden, he's on the phone to somebody in the stand, and you see him like scouring the stand. No, this has been between they've went to adverts or something, you can see him they're having a wee break, and you see him on his phone, next minute he's looking on the stand, then he's waving, so somewhere in the Lisbon Lions he's waving away. But then there was one point where Brendan's chatting to Lenny, and then he starts getting all the fans to sing for Lenny. And then at one point, Carl McGregor has to come back and get Brendan away from Sky. Sky come and lift the trophy. And then Brendan's running. No, it was like a guy kind of running for the bus. He's kind of running in his suit to get over the other side. But it was great, really, really great. But shocker, Rooney, Palmer scoring the last league goal of the season. Would you bet your money on that, Hector?
He falls into that bracket enigma, doesn't he? He's the thing. Even we're at the game, we talk regularly about the players, and he's one of the main talking points. And it's a strange one because he's clearly got a lot of really good technical skill. You can see it. He's got abundance. He's probably more technically gifted than most of the attacking players we've got. The problem with him is his decision making. And if they can sort that decision, if Rodgers can sort that decision making out, I mean, he's only 23. He's still a young player. Then he's maybe got an opportunity to have a good career with Celtic, but the technique's there, the crossing's there, it's just making his right decisions. That's what he's really got to work on. But that's your question, no.
Well, I don't know if the TV cameras are recording, but it's literally right in front of me. So I'm between the 18-yard line and the halfway line. So it's right where Palmer's standing, right? So he's literally 50-yard over from me. And he wasn't having that great a game. At one point, he lost the ball and just stood there, and Rodgers went through him. Right? Like, I've got a cracking view. Rodgers went through him. But he wasn't like telling him off. He was basically saying to him, "You're better than this. Pick yourself up." No, he's giving that gesture as if find some stamina, get back in the game. Then ultimately he runs into the back post. And you're kind of going, I mean, like, he's having to G him up all the way through the game. Maybe he's just, that way he's getting a bit despondent. Last game of the season doesn't really matter. And then Rodgers is telling him every minute matters. If you want to play in this team, you're going to have to step it up every game. Know what I mean? So do you think he'll get a start tomorrow, Monty?
No, I think what you've seen in the front three, that there'll be one change, which will just be Kyogo for Idah. And I think that's the horses for courses thing that they talked about in commentary, Desi, during the Kilmarnock game. And Sutton brought it up as well a lot. And I know Hartson talked about it in the papers the day after. I think Kyogo just terrifies them in a way that Maeda terrifies them. And I think that plus Forrest, that's your front three. I can't imagine there'd be any change. You almost pick the team. It'll be the same team, effectively, I think, that started at Kilmarnock.
Okay.
I don't know, Desi, I had one other thing just to ask on it too. For you guys watching the game, Kuhn's biggest attribute appears to be pace. But he also seems very, very tricky. He reminds me, watching him on TV, a little bit like Paddy Roberts. Is he as slight as I perceive him to be, or is he like, he's not a 6-foot winger? Like, Palmer's more athletic than him. I think Palmer's a bigger, taller guy. Is Kuhn as slight as he comes across on TV? He's
a wee guy, but he doesn't have like the sensational impact to your 10 yards. I'd say Paddy Roberts had. Paddy Roberts, everybody was on their feet, everybody was off their seat, excited because you thought he's going to take a man and beat him. Kuhn's still in the, will I take him? Or maybe no, I'll just play it safe. Very much, no, I don't want to chance it. So he's still no get that whole confidence in his maybe a good pre-season and he'll find his kind of gumption again, whereas Paddy Roberts was all that, no, that way he was like, I'm going to take you every time, and you're going, pass the ball and I'll take you again.
Because it's two good options, and that's why, sorry to labour the point, it's two good options to back up Forrest and Maeda in Kuhn and Palmer. It gives you two very, very good options coming off the bench that are different to the players that are starting.
Yeah, and again, if they're learning how to be complete modern wingers rather than just out-and-out wingers, no, that way you have to full back, you have to cover space, you have to split two guys, these sort of things, all the things that they've never done in their previous places. It's a learning curve, isn't it? So,
the other thing as well is just where you guys were talking. I'm not saying Celtic's unique, but they're one of the few clubs in world football where the expectation is you win every domestic game. Yeah. I mean, for some of these guys coming in here, where they go to some grounds and get a draw, be a good result, or they win 8 games out of 10 at home and there's 2 draws or 1 defeat. That's deemed acceptable. With Celtic, you're never going to win every game, but the expectation is for the manager, for the supporters, you win every domestic game. That must be some burden or expectation to get in your head about the demands.
And just on that too, Hector, I was trying to run through in my head then how many of these. So we talked last season, the amount of players for whom that was their first championship, or in Ange's first season, how many that was their first championship. We had another 3 or 4 there, I think, at Kilmarnock. It's their first championship. So, their first title that they've won. Kuhn, obviously. I don't think he's won anything before. Scales has never played in a team that has won a championship. Idah. Like, there's 3 boys who've never gone the distance and won a weekend. Palmer, there's 4. There's your 4. So, that learning thing, and something else is an observation on the 2 wingers as well. When Palmer played on Saturday there, he looked to me to be lighter. He looked like he'd lost about a stone. He looked leaner. And I don't know, again, if that's something that maybe just the TV's doing. He just looked a lot leaner than when he was playing and starting. That they'd almost skinnied him up a bit, maybe to give him a bit more pace. But yeah, sorry, I ramble a little bit. I think they're good options.
That's why we're here. So, right, so anyone who's listening who may follow the eTimsNet Twitter account, you may occasionally see Hector Bandido's lunchtime walks around Glasgow. Hector likes to point out various pieces of lovely architecture, various pieces of Glasgow street life. It's always colourful. So, Hector, I come to you. Trongate Litter Police. Isn't it about time that Glasgow City Council provided Celtic fans a place to celebrate in safety from the Trongate Litter Police? I don't know if anyone saw it. This takes place. We had the usual Rangers fans complaining about all those Celtic fans ruining the Trongate because it's clearly the new West End. All those Celtic fans ruining the Trongate, and the poor Gallagate doesn't get any peace from them. Blah blah blah.
Do you know what I think it goes back to? It goes back to when they won the league, right? And they did their. Remember, there was no fans in the stadium to see them win the league, right? But anyway, they all congregated over at Ibrox, and they all went into the town of George Square, and they had a swally. They ended up fighting with each other. Then they ended up fighting with the cops. They ended up smashing up George Square, right? And the season after, I'm pretty sure it was the season after when Celtic, Angie's first season. Celtic fans, because they'd never done that before, I think they thought, fuck that, and basically they just decided to go and have a party. But Celtic keep winning leagues and having big celebrations.
Damn them.
It's become a regular thing now. So the question is, it was never a thing, Desi. You know this.
Yep, you're right.
Never a thing for Celtic, never a thing for Rangers. It was never a thing that was done, right? You'd go to a pub, have a swallow, maybe outside a pub, have a wee sing song, but it was never tens of thousands congregated in the town. So I think they've really got the thinking heads on now. For Celtic to say, right, do the club have to do something at Celtic Park in the stadium, outside the stadium at Glasgow Green? Maybe is that maybe somewhere to go and do it where it can take tens of thousands? And likewise, when their time comes in the league, which it's got to at some point again, do they go to Bellahouston Park, which isn't far from it? No, I mean. It probably makes sense to do that, but it was never a thing until recently, was it? It was never a thing.
You're right. If it's good enough for the Pope, it's good enough for them to go to Bellahouston.
Are they boycotting Bellahouston Park?
That's exactly. They're not with the grass. The grass is too green. Yeah, but again, I love the Susan Aitken, the Glasgow City Council leader. She put up, please, Glasgow is a football city. Everyone loves the game. Please, but respect your neighbours and your neighbourhoods. Enjoy the game without ruining it for everyone, blah, blah, blah. And then the replies were this dynamite. And Jeanette Finley's was my favourite. Try doing that when it's an orange. I never saw you saying that when it was orange walks. It was like the 1800 orange walks, these sort of things. And people it was list. And again, you don't see any, I was making wee jokes on Twitter about all the guys, all the people up at the cash and carry going all in, that sort of thing. So the amount of money that must go in that place.
To be fair to the council, when they trashed George Square and did their stuff, the council did. They get tore into them for it. So it's not as if it's, I wouldn't want to do their fucking job, right? You know what I mean? But the clubs and the council, look, this is going to be a regular thing now, which it looks like. Get the heads together, work something out, but the club's got to be part of it to bring the fans there. Does that make sense?
I think, again, don't need to go into it, but I was sure before the club maybe helped somewhere, as in like clean-up squads or something. I was sure maybe a few years ago. But part of it also for last weekend, I think, was they had the Run for Life, and it was getting through the Gallagate the next day.
Oh, Macy's did that.
The whole planning thing. So I think that buggered the whole plan. Not like suddenly you've buggered up your plans for this.
Back with a bag full of empties. It's fucking great.
Clink, clink, clink. So there we go. So that was a Saturday, right? So we thought, fantastic. Everybody's had a great day. It was a cracking day. We're all out celebrating Saturday night. And then it comes to the Sunday where we're all expecting to have a hangover. And there was a sudden Celtic surprise joy for a lot of us, Monty, and that was watching the women play their last game of the league season. Did you manage to catch it?
I got the last 5-10 minutes of it.
That's all you needed.
All we needed. And Karma, as you know, I'm an Armagh man, and we lost the Ulster final again on penalties. We have a hex now with penalties. We're the only. I think we're unbeaten in Championship football in fucking 2 years, and we've won nothing.
Who'd you lose to?
Donegal. But it's a pattern now, Hector. We've actually lost 5 penalty shootouts in a row. 2 All-Ireland quarterfinals and 2 Ulster finals. Last season to Derry and this season to Donegal. And we were 4 points up with 20 minutes to go. It was kind of ours to win, and we just it has to be psychological. It can't be just bad luck. But with the ladies, Celtic ladies losing last year to a last-minute goal, I think poetic justice for this year and winning in the fashion they did was just wonderful. And it was fun. You could actually, one of those ones, football can be really funny sometimes. And professional footballers talk about flow moments. Jota used to talk lots about that. They get the ball and you just feel that something's happening. And it was exactly that passage of play when that girl got that ball in the box. You fucking knew she was going to score. You just knew it was going to bounce, it was going to fall. You just felt it. And absolutely glorious, Desi. And history as well, I believe. The first time a club have won both women's and gents.
Exactly. But the game itself. So bravo to Amy Gallagher, who had just signed a 3-year deal in April. Again, Hector, the old Celtic fairy tales. Celtic legend Patsy Gallagher, who died in 1953, 195 goals for Celtic, 6 league titles, 4 Scottish Cup wins. 71 years later, his great-granddaughter, 90 minutes, the clock's running down, they've been shooting high, wide and ugly for 89 minutes, and suddenly the ball goes into the box. She takes it, because I was crying out on Twitter going, this is the moment of composure we need here, this is the moment of composure. She takes it, moves it, and then swivels in, hits it, and the whole of Celtic Twitter just went mental. It was a beautiful, joyous moment, wasn't it?
It was really good. I missed the first half and I switched it on just pretty much in half time. And I see it was nothing. She was like, oh. And I heard the half time summarisers going, oh, Hibs actually could have scored in front here. I thought, fucking hell. Watched the second half and they were going nowhere fast. They were a mixture of being pretty rubbish, which can happen. Nerves getting to the better of them, which contributes to them being pretty rubbish. And the event and everything they just couldn't get to grips with it. And I just thought, crikey, this doesn't look good at all. I don't know if we're going to score here. Then he put, the coach put
Elena Sadiku.
Put Hayes up front. So Hayes is Irish lassie, plays centre back, and she scores a hell of a lot of goals for set pieces. And put her up front in the last 10 minutes. And this obviously created a bit more space. And Amy Gallagher, as you say, she had started. I've watched a fair bit. BBC Alba's really good for showing the women's game. Mm-hmm. And I've watched quite a lot of their games this season. So Amy Gallagher kind of started off kind of more up front this season, but it's moved more back to a natural attacking mid position. And when she got the ball, she tried to lay it off, didn't she? But it was unsuccessful. Mm-hmm. Bounced back to her. And Monty's point, great skill to kind of bust past 3 players in the penalty box and a fantastic finish. And the celebration. I don't know about you, but I jumped up and fucking there. Now, if somebody had told me, genuinely, a couple of years ago, you'd be watching the women's game and jump up and punch the air at a Celtic goal, I went, don't be fucking daft. But it was a genuine act of, I don't know if Desi were going to say the same thing, a genuine act of emotion, like, come on, fucking get in there.
That's right. Sorry, I actually screamed, yes, this is my wife who doesn't care about football whatsoever, typical East Ender. She's just walked into the kitchen. I've screamed yes. She went, are you watching this again? You already know they won. And I went, this is the women's. And she's like, all right. Oh, and they won him, right? And so suddenly it was like, oh, this is different. And as you say, it was like, here, brilliant, this fairy tale stuff. But the highlight of the week for me was the tweet that showed the BBC website. The coverage, they were having coverage because obviously the Celtic Rangers are playing in Partick Thistle. They're 4-0 up. They're waiting 0-0 over at Celtic Park. Here we go. We could put them here. We could take this. And then the post on the BBC website, Rangers bench have just heard Celtic women have scored on the 90th minute. heads on hands. Oh, hands on heads. Sorry, heads on hands. Hands on heads. And it was just an image of the crowd. And it just reminded me of the Hearts game. Remember when we picked Hearts? It was just that perfect moment. And you're like, good. I mean,
And their coach, I think she played for England, right? If ever a coach has their DNA that should be their coach, she's a torn-faced, miserable isn't she? So-and-so. Being barely cracks a smile. And even the Celtic huddle was getting on her nerves. I think it was 2 or 3 games ago. She was moaning the referee. Oh, they're doing the huddle. No, wait, fuck off you. She's just a miserable fucker. And you just think to yourself, get up them. But the scenes at the end, see when they won, that was joyous. They were over to the North Stand was open when there was 7,500 there. And the scenes where they're all, you felt for them. I genuinely thought that was proper emotion. But wasn't it? Their friends and family in the stand, they're obviously tight with each other as a group. You could see that coming through, shining through. And I thought the celebrations were just great to see.
Yeah, it was, but it was the exact opposite of the day before, because the day before we were winning 3-2, 89 minutes, 59 seconds, and the next second, the referee blew bang on 90 minutes for the Celtic St Mirren game. And then the Hibs game with the women, it was at 7 minutes added on time. It was like you're like, oh, come on, you're biting your nails going, just hold on, because you're just expecting some random punt up the park, something just to bugger it, I mean, the classic Celtic way. And then, Hector, I think you were very impressed when they stopped the game for a standing ovation for Joel Murray.
How good was that? I didn't know much. Let's be honest here. They spoke about the commentary a few times, so you only threw that head about her, but it turns out that the Hibs player is a bit of a legend. In 20 years. Games. So 20 years, there's Desi just saying that. And to put it in context, the women's game has really gained a bit of traction, more so the last 2 seasons. It's been around a little bit longer, but really the last 2 or 3 seasons, some traction. BBC Alba take a lot of the credit for that, for putting it on. But then Celtic and Rangers have started to take it a little bit more serious in the past, where they didn't do that. But this player for Hibs, 20 years. You think back to when she started, when, I don't know where they were playing the games back then. Public pitches.
That must have literally been getting ready in the car, playing in the local pub pitch, let's be honest.
Aye. So your thing there about it was like 90 minutes, wasn't it? And both teams agreed to do a kind of guard of honour for them on 90 minutes. So the game's still fucking going on. Obviously, the ref's paused it. He's part of it as well. Both teams have lined up and applauded her. That was a fantastic touch, wasn't it? It really was fantastic. Just a couple of things for me. Sorry, just on the women thing, right? I think Celtic as a club, and as a club I mean the number crunchers, the ones that hold the purse strings, please start to treat the women a bit more seriously in terms of the squad, right? The squad wasn't as strong as the one that finished last season. So the job the 2 coaches have done this year to win the league was an amazing achievement, right? They're in the Champions League qualifiers now at a later round. They need strengthened. They need a wee bit of quality in that midfield area. I've listened to some folk who watch them regular and seen it myself. A bit of money on them. They don't need £40 million. I reckon £2 million would transform that team, right? And the second thing is they play their games out at Airdrie on a 3G pitch or 4G pitch at Airdrie. Can we try and find a place in Glasgow they could play the games? Is it possible to contact Partick Thistle? They might chase them to play at Firhill, maybe alternate.
Livingston's available.
But that's further away, isn't it? You might get Glasgow. You know what I mean?
So what about, is Barrowfield not the intended location?
I think that's the intention.
But they've not built a stand there yet.
No, but I'm saying that's not the intended location, so maybe...
Well, it's not part of the next phase, right? So it might be a phase after that. Then you're talking, is that 5 years for now? So get them in a good grass surface, bring them back to Glasgow. Get them to talk to Thistle, make chases, but there's other pitches in the area they could try and use.
Lesser Hampden, maybe. We can talk nice to them, that sort of thing. Down the Rex, I mean, we had to Bloodworth we down the 50 pitches, I'm sure it'll be fine. But it was great. The Joel Murray Monty, I never saw her score at Celtic Park, but 500 games she played for Hibs. That's some going into it when you think about it. I mean,
that's a lifetime service, yeah. And I think sometimes too, like those sorts of gestures in the men's game get so amplified, but when you boil it down, it's fundamentally a sport. I know I've been ruminating, I know that word again, about the notion of football just being entertainment. And when you see those gestures, it kind of does, it strikes a chord with you around genuine sportsmanship, and sometimes it's not all about winning, you know. I recall, like, remember DiCanio's gesture where he caught the ball when the guy was down injured and he got some fucking award for it and everything? But yeah, and I think to Hector's point, it wouldn't take an awful lot to get behind it. But, you know, I just think, I know we talked about it, it's not to go negative, but we just don't have the right people in positions of direction at the club to be innovative like that. They're operating at the peak of their abilities. So until we change the people who direct the club, I think we'll always struggle to see the opportunity. We have too many conservative people, and I mean that both from a Tory cunt perspective as well as people who aren't prepared to take a chance. So, such is
a few disruptors would be nice. So that was, excuse me. So that was great. Well done to the women's team. As I say, Elena Sadiku taking over from Fan Alonso. That was a great job. Interesting, when I was doing a wee bit of research, and surprisingly for some of people listening, I do some research for this podcast. Rangers picked, but they're also going for 2 cups this season, just like their men's team. So they both Celtic teams win the league, and now the 2 Rangers teams are going for try to win the cup doubles. So nice wee touch. So then we move on from last Sunday. Just a few wee announcements. International squad, 4 Celtic players, Taylor, Ralston, Cal Mack and James Forrest getting these ample rewards. So hopefully they can make the final cut. Hyogo did not make the cut for the Japan team, so they must have some forwards in that team. I couldn't tell you any of them, but they must have some forwards if Hyogo doesn't even get a mention. Carter Vickers is to go to the USA camp. Denmark have still not announced their Euros. And as Monty alluded to, we had an election announced, so that's nice. So that will be something to keep us entertained towards the Euros rather than the football. But that brings us to tonight, Hector. Cup final preview night. Saturday, 3 p.m. The first time Celtic will play a Rangers named side in 22 years in a Scottish Cup final. Will you be sitting at home and watching it, Hector?
Is that a loaded question, Dave?
It may be. Answer as you like.
Can you account for your movement?
I know. I won't be too specific in case we get some mad fucking stalker, right? So I've not got a ticket for the game. So the other half of me, we're heading up the west coast. There's a song there somewhere. We're heading up the west coast through the villages and towns, and we are.
Have some dignity, man, for God's sake.
That's it. I know. Well. I have my brown brogues on. And we're going up to the Northwest Highlands. So we're going up there for a wee week. So tomorrow the game's on BBC. So I think I've found a pub that might be all right to go to. So I'm going to get there. I'm going to get. Listen, they're not the Highlands. It's not fucking Glasgow. They're civilised up there, right? And I'm going to go up and just suss it out. I'll get a pint. I'll sit at the back of the pub. And I said to Desi just before we started recording this, all good intentions. I'll sit there pretty quiet. And you know, as soon as that fucking first whistle goes, don't you? It's fucking into them. So that's the plan for tomorrow, Desi. Go up there and watch it. But just see in terms of the.
Can I just quickly ask, but are you sure it's not going to be full of white settlers wanting to watch the FA Cup final?
No.
Lots of people down south and have came up to live in Scotland.
I've done my homework, Desi. I've done my homework, right? So I've been told there's only 2 types of people go to this pub. It's tourists and Celtic fans. So as you said earlier, I tick both boxes, right? So hopefully that's not going to kill us. I just want to see it. So in terms of the game, there's always this old adage used that form goes out the window when it comes to cup finals or when it comes to Celtic Rangers games. Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. But if you look at, let's just focus on this season. In this season, we've played them 4 times. Won 3 games. I think we won with a bit to spare. The results, numbers-wise, were close. But I think the 3 games we won with a bit to spare. And the 1 game we didn't win, a lot of case could be said we should have won it. Ibrox was a 3 each game, right? I touched upon at the start of the podcast that our last 11 or 12 games, We've won all of them, bar one that we drew, which was the game at Ibrox. So we've really had form. We've come to our strongest form of the season at the perfect time. Conversely, their forms went the opposite direction from 6-8 weeks ago. So what I'm trying to say in the roundabout way is, in terms of tomorrow, if we just play our game, anywhere close to our game. And one thing about Rodgers that he's always good at, he's always good at getting focus on the big domestic games. I think his record's sensational in cup semi-finals and finals and games against Rangers. It's absolutely sensational. If we've got our focus right, we play our game, I think we should win with a bit to spare if we play our game. Now, you don't always play your game. Sometimes you have a bad day at the office. Sometimes opposition raise their game. And if any team's got to raise their game, it's them tomorrow, because you think if you're in their shoes, they've got to put their bodies on the line and fucking throw everything at us tomorrow, surely, to try and get some semblance of support going into next season from their team and confidence. So I'd expect them to really fucking have a go at us tomorrow, get tore into us. But ultimately, if we play our game and control the midfield and use our pace to get in behind them and stretch them, we should win tomorrow. We should win.
Yeah. So, exactly right. So, Monty, Brendan said the other day, Celtic are looking to bring their A game. So, again, I believe, echoing what Hector says, I believe only one team can win tomorrow and one team can lose tomorrow. Celtic are the only team that can lose that game tomorrow. So I don't think Rangers can beat us if we turn up. Is that your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of what Hector said is on the money as regards form and tracking how we've got to this point over the last 8 weeks. There's a couple of variables with them as well, Desi, that you have to take into account. And he's right. They have to go all in to win something, throwing their bodies on the line, etc. But when you look at it, he's going to be asking people who are leaving that football club to throw their bodies on the line in their last game. But professional footballers don't tend to do that. They have a contract to protect, and I'm thinking specifically of the likes of Barisic and Lundstrom. Mm-hmm. You've also got, other rumours. It's been such a weird sort of build-up to it because they're talking themselves down almost. This huge injury list and whatnot. But I don't think it would matter if they had their entire squad available, Desi. I think we just have a better squad of players. We've got better options. And their style of football, which I know you alluded to, even in our WhatsApp and over the last couple of games we played against them, it's very agricultural. It's a long ball and second balls. We are probably just too technically aware for that, Desi. The other thing that got a little bit lost in the build-up, although Rodgers brought it out a few times, we fucking took 93 points this season. That's 31 out of 36. For a team that was fucking really, really not firing on all cylinders, that's something else. So I think going into it, the psychological blow of them being ahead so comfortably to blow it in the way that they did in the league, and for us to cuff them in the way that we did, I think that feeds in hugely to tomorrow, Desi. So yeah, I think if we turn up tomorrow, our starting 11 solid. We do have to take into account Walsh and Beaton, just life, and it's their last throw of this season's cheating days. But I think we're going to be okay. But not to be complacent. It'll be a hard game, but I think we should be comfortable.
Yeah, exactly. It's that whole confidence, no arrogance and complacent. Again, as I said, I believe we can only lose. I still believe we could gub them 5-0. I really honestly believe if we can be fully, like we should have beaten them 5-0 last time. I don't care what we say. We just turned right off after that second goal and let them run up the park. And that was just madness. So if we can be fully switched on, we could be an easy. Again, if we turn up in that Kilmarnock mode, Hector, you know what I mean? I know it would be different. It would be Kyogo, no Idah starting or whatever. But if we've got that mindset of going, let's finish this. Let's just fucking put the actual boot on their neck and say, listen, know your place. Because they already half know it, and I just think we need this to fucking make sure there's a stamp there.
But there's other variables as well, right? And it's important we consider them. It is a cup final. There's emotions, there's nerves. Come into it. It's a big occasion, as you touched upon, the first cup final between us and them. or 20 years.
22.
So it's a massive thing, right? It's a massive event. So if the occasion isn't the better players and, don't get too nervous, don't make mistakes, and play their game. And our game is about control and moving the ball quickly. And our control starts where midfield. Well, it starts where defence getting to our midfield. And that's when Carter Vickers, because he's our best defender, but also because he's got the pace that it allows others to move the ball to midfield. Then with Calmack and those three, they don't just, they're not, what I'm getting is they're not a static three. So it's almost like this makes it sound daft, like a moving triangle at times where people think Calmack sits as the 6 all the time. He doesn't. Most of the game he's there. Most of the game he's there to receive the ball. But watching the games in play, a good example of that was the first goal we scored against them 2 weeks ago. Matt Riley, that was Callum McGregor. Callum wasn't sitting he wasn't sitting as a 6. So you'll see him moving into the 8 or the 10, and Rio stepping back to 6. So it's like a fluid 3 they've got there. And there's just wee subtle changes in the team now. They've got those 3 back that enhances the team. Forrest's form's been incredible the last few weeks. Maedah's just been, again, terrific. And now you've got proper competition for the 2 strikers. Proper competition. Where Kyogo will probably start, he'll probably play 60, 65 minutes. Then Idah's going to come on. Desperate to fucking showcase what he can do. Desperate to reinforce, I want to stay here next season. Please buy me. So if we can have a strong 60 minutes and be in front in that last half hour, I think we could win a bit to spare. If we play our game.
Yeah.
If we play the game and don't get wound up in the occasion.
Interesting you said there, as a cup final, and remember that, a one-off game, these things happen. And again, it was a shame for wee Frimpers the other night. Leverkusen's first loss of the season, and by fuck to get beat. I mean, Atalanta destroyed them. I mean, literally, they just looked dead on their feet, and they've got to play a cup final at the weekend. So again, that was my worry, Monty. Are we in danger of post-title party hangover?
No, so Monty, just one thing maybe you can answer then. A good example of that was the semi-final against Aberdeen.
Mm-hmm.
Now, everyone else, I think, predicted a convincing Celtic win, and on paper it should have been. But Aberdeen, took us all the way.
Was it ever really doubt?
I'm just saying, but there's an example of, you're knowing your game.
Yeah. I think just on that Atalanta thing, again, it's something else that gets lost in it. In all the hype about Leverkusen being unbeaten, what got our burst out was that Atalanta totally took Liverpool apart.
Yeah.
Fucking destroyed them. And I was ping-ponging back with a good mate of mine, Celtic fan down in Dublin, and we were talking about that game going, fucking Leverkusen have some outfit. Just totally forgot how solid Atalanta were, and they destroyed Leverkusen. Mm-hmm. They made them look, as you say, leggy. It was like they've been on the piss since they won the fucking Bundesliga. I don't think we have any of those complacencies, because I don't believe Rodgers would allow those complacencies. I also think we've got a level of hunger that trumps any level of desperation that they might have about going out, ending the season on a high. We talked a little bit about the culture over there, and with supposedly this alpha male character, and that being very fragile when you're up against it. And if we can get at them early and score against them early, I think they'll fold. They'll fall like a fucking house of cards, because some of them are leaving. It's their last game. They're not going to put their bodies on the line, as you talked about, Hector. Barisic and Lundstrom, they've got a contract to fucking protect. They'll not be fucking. We go ahead of them. What's the discipline goal? And to your point, Desi, that last league game, our complacency kicked in even around the time of the penalty. Even the nature of the penalty, the cockiness of it, that goes in, and it is a 5-0 game. They crumble. So I think so much of it, when you see how Atalanta bossed Leverkusen, who are a top team, that's a team turning up with their A game against a team who's turning up and just not quite sure of themselves. That could very well be the script for the game tomorrow, but we still have to turn up with our A game. And I just believe that we've just got better players, a better manager, and we're in a better place at the minute. It's, then again, that's dangerous sometimes when you've got it all going for you.
Yeah, so, and this might sound a really stupid question, so feel free to dismiss it. But Hector, would you really be bothered if we lost tomorrow?
Yes.
Okay, correct answer. And you, Monty?
I'll say no, but of course the answer's fucking yes.
But somebody phoned in Clyde the other day, and the guy went, "Listen, we've won the league. Anything else is realistically a bonus. Of course, I'd like to win, but you'll not have any Celtic fans screaming blue murder if we lose this game on Saturday." And my wife, again, is in case she was like, "What a lot of rubbish." I went, "See, to be honest, he's probably telling the truth. I don't think we've not got as much buy-in, I don't think, because we've done the big job. This is just the cherry on the top. It would be lovely, and we'll celebrate having a lovely Saturday. But if we lose tomorrow, I'll still be sitting at the back with a nice cold beer in my hand regardless, still smiling, knowing we're in the Champions League."
We're at home to Westmeath at 6 o'clock in the first round robin of the All-Ireland series. And for me, that's as challenging a game of football tomorrow as the cup final. Genuinely. It's the primary objective and the manner in which we did it because of what we were up against. And Hector, we were just talking as well about, like, we collected 93 points this season. And we would joke around like the least shit of the two teams would win the league. We lifted 93 fucking points, even when we weren't playing well. So it feels like bonus territory because of the blatant fucking cheating that went on, because of so many decisions going against us, because we were so against it. And as Roger said, and it's a great tagline, we wrote our own story. Be nice to put a nice chapter and close it out tomorrow with a real dominant performance. But equally, I'd take a fucking scrappy 1-0 OG. I'd take a... What do you call that guy? John Pierre?
I was going to ask Hector. I was going to ask.
That would be disappointed. Sorry, just come in and me and we can try and convince ourselves otherwise, but let's just put a couple of things on the table here, right? One, it's a cup final. Doesn't matter who we play in a cup final, it's a cup final, right? Scottish Cup final, last game of the season. 2, we're going for a double, right? Which, I know we've done a lot of trebles recently, but if you look at our record, double's a big thing in the history of the club. And 3, it's a cup final against them. Let's not piss about here, right? It's against them, right? You guys have your own points to add, right?
Right.
No, it will matter. Don't be wrong. Bigger scheme of things, bigger picture, winning the league by a mile. However, I don't want to give them one fucking bit of confidence going next season. Let's do them tomorrow. Let's beat them. Let's get the double. Let's put another one over them. Let's really stick it to them. Finish the season with a massive high. Let Rodgers go out. We'll talk about this in a future podcast. Really strengthen the team this summer, and we go all guns blazing for the treble next year. Right. So let's not fanny about. Let's win tomorrow.
Right. So that's 3 points. What's the most significant 4th point, Monty? Do you know what I'm alluding to? The 4th point. What happens if Celtic win tomorrow?
Yeah.
We become the world's most joint successful club.
Can I tell you to fuck off, guys, if you don't take it personally?
I've got a T-shirt printed.
No.
One of the Heaney's, Brian he's a great man for when you mention the numbers between 54 and 56. He just says one constant one. And he fucking won't let it drop. So if something costs £55.20, it's £1.20 for you. I think that, the best thing we could do with that, Desi, would be just to ignore it.
Mm-hmm.
And especially if we can, over the next 2 seasons, surpass that count of titles. The best thing the club could do is just fucking ignore it.
You're talking about overall trophies, Desi, aren't you? You're talking about all trophies combined.
But this is what made me laugh, right? Well, I'll come to the quiz questions later, right? But when I was researching this today, and we've been joking about this before on the WhatsApp, etc. If Celtic, so for everyone listening, if Celtic win the cup tomorrow, they will tie with Rangers, and then if we win the League Cup next year, we would overtake Rangers. But when I went to I think it was the BBC website to look at the trophy count, what they have in for competition, right? So for example, Scottish League Cup, Scottish Cup. Do you know what it says? The next one. What do you think it says for the next one? So you've got Scottish League Cup, Scottish Cup. Would be the next trophy.
Is the Loving Cup in there?
Scottish League?
Let me hear this. Scottish First Tier League Championship. So I guarantee if we go that tomorrow, that will change to Scottish League Championships. And then they'll start counting whatever they won when they get sent down. No, because I was joking that it will be they'll start counting the Glasgow Cup. They'll start counting the number of times the Army's abseiled from your main stand award. They'll do anything they possibly can to go in front of us. But I think somebody put up, like, since the turn of the century, it's just been crazy. No, like, say, like,
amazing, isn't it?
70% of our Celtic's trophy haul. It's just been unbelievable.
What we should do, we did the podcast with the Celtic history guy. It was brilliant. We should do a future one with him on that. Just on that, because we're living in a period of time where I never ever thought in my wildest dreams. We're the old Celtic dads, stroke Celtic granders now, right? And blow the pants off the young team. Listen to how we used to see things. We used to get fucking beat with Hamilton away and stuff like that. But putting all that to one side, the last 20 odd years are just probably since Martin O'Neill came in. Wim Janssen stopped him doing 10, then Martin came in a couple of years later, didn't he? That 23, 24 years is just frightening. It's frightening.
Unprecedented.
Especially the last 15 years.
Yeah.
We've done four trebles. Fucking hell. 5 trebles. 5 trebles in the last 7 years. That's fucking mad.
I had a list up earlier, and it's just like winners, Scottish Cup winners, and it'll be like Celtic, blah blah blah. It's quite surreal when you look back the last 24 years, and they say Gretna in the final. Dunfermline have been in the Scottish Cup final twice in the last 24 years. Not like these random, but so it'll be interesting if we win tomorrow. Big Phil clearly under pressure. Hector, he's been trying to do the old, well, I won't tell you my team, I won't tell you who's injured, I won't tell you who's fit. And again, listening to the 4-ins are going, yeah, that's right, keep it cagey. And Gordon Nunn goes, but he's never been like this. He's always the first guy coming out and goes, Monty's injured, Hector's injured, I've got injury woes. Now he's talking about guys are wanting to play with their crutches, they're so devoted, and not while you're going, are you believing what you're trying to sell here? This sounds as though he's clutching.
There's one big thing he's forgotten about, because when he's experienced enough to know when he's having these press conferences, right? He's trying to get that line that gets the back page. He's not daft. He's trying to do a wee bit of the Rodgersism within it, trying to get that back or front page headline in Scotland when it comes to football. There's one big thing he's forgetting here, is that Rodgers doesn't care about the team he puts out. Rodgers, if it's Champions League, it's different. Rodgers genuinely, as we do, believes he's got the best players, the best team there. So his game plan's all about Celtic tomorrow. It doesn't matter if Clement said fucking he's playing right back. It wouldn't matter to Rodgers. He'd obviously take a note of who's playing, right? But his game plan's all about Celtic. And I think that's where Clement, if he strengthens his team he's still there the next 2 or 3 years and becoming a really strong, it's a different conversation then. But right now, I don't think Rodgers really cares who he has at right back or left back or centre mid tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So prediction time, Monty. I'll let you go first. What's the prediction?
Early goal, we'll get it, and I think we'll win comfortably 3.
Do you think Rangers could score an early goal for the first time this season against us? They've not taken the lead against us in that game.
I think even if they do, I don't believe it's going to make any difference to us. I think we're going to be okay, and I think we'll have a bit to spur. And if we go ahead early, it could be on for a proper horse of them. I think we'll win 3-1, Des.
3-1, nice. I will go, as I say, I honestly think it could be 5-0, but I will go for 4-1. I'll go for the 4-1. I think they'll score. They'll get. I was going to ask you, Hector, what do you think the VAR decision will be that we'll either laugh at or shrug our shoulders at? But there's bound to be a VAR decision somewhere that we're going to go, really? One way or the other. But what do you think the score will be, Hector? As you're sitting up in the Highlands with the horizontal rain blowing in the windows and you're clapping a wee border collie dug at the door next to the fire, talking about Local Hero and how much you love that movie, what do you think the score will be? As you're listening to it on the wireless up in the Outer Hebrides Broadcasting Corporation.
Man. Oh, it's weird. It's weird because I think Monty can have summarised it quite well. There's probably a couple of predictions in your head, right? And you're right. If we do score early, it could be anything, right? However, I think we'll win by a couple of goals. I think 2-0, 3-1 sounds about right. As long as just want us to perform. If we perform, and win. Do you know what? I would also take a fucking scrappy 1-0 OG victory for Celtic tomorrow.
Right.
Just one.
Right. Yeah, okay. Final question on the game tomorrow. You've just made me think of this. Palmer scored the last goal for the league. Monty, who would you like to see score the winning goal, final goal tomorrow?
O'Reilly, because I think it'll be a nice swan song for him. I just don't think we're going to be able to hold on to him in the summer, and he's been an outstanding footballer for us. So if it can't be Joe Hart with a penalty because we're already 4-0 up,
exactly. Yeah. Honestly, I was thinking about coming home tonight. Somebody was talking about Joe Hart on the phone in, and I was saying how funny. Like, remember we let Cham take a penalty for a laugh against him? Remember when we were already coming him and we let him Cham for a laugh? They just let him take it. He'd never take it. Just let him for a laugh. And again, but imagine the chaos. Surely they would invade the pitch if Celtic sent Joe Hart up to take a penalty. And we were, as you say, you're 4-0 up with 5 to go, and it's fuck it, Joe, on you go, mate, and then we'll take you off. No, that way for a laugh. It would just be fucking hilarious. You know what I mean?
Oh, man, they'd implode.
I'm 55 years of age, and I'm still waiting for somebody to beat the keeper, stop the ball on the line, and bend down and head it in like you used to do in the gym. And I mean, one day I just want a professional player to do that, and I always get it's disrespectful. Fuck it, that's what the fans want to see. Just rub it right in.
There's only one player who should get the last successful Celtic goal. I don't care if it's to win 1-0 or 4-0. It's got to be a legend, Desi Maeda. It's got to be Dyson. It's got to be Tav on his tail, right?
This like, no, like you're like the Usain Bolt 100 meters picture where he smiles at the camera and he's still running,
waving
everybody else. Exactly, but you see everybody else behind him like kind of whoa, and like they're in slow motion. That would be perfect.
No, Dyson running past him, right, and he's running towards goal, and he turns around with his right hand, gives him the Vicky. Running past him, right?
Like people can't see, but Hector's got his 2 fingers up on the screen. I thought you were going to say he's smoking a cigar as he runs.
That as well, a cigar in his left hand, right? The Vicky in his right hand.
He's got a dark and stormy glass and a goblet in one hand. He's got his smoking jacket in another. He's got a cigar and he's kind of running past him. He's actually walking past him that quick. No, I mean, that's how quick he is.
Then fucking dives into the fucking Green Brigade boys ultras right behind the goal. I mean, that's it. That's the perfect.
He puts the ball in between his legs and then vaults, does a somersault into the net. That would just be beautiful. I'll go for the romance of James Forrest capping off a wonderful comeback. That would be a nice way to finish it. But I do think Matt O'Reilly, I'll be putting him on my coop, and I do think he'll score at one point. Because again, he's an R1A players. They just kind of keep with same as Maeda. The Tavernier kind of keep with Maeda. Calmack, they kind of get close to it, and O'Reilly's just too smart to be where they think he's going to be. You know what I mean? So I think that'll be it, right? So that brings us to, so fingers crossed, all goes well tomorrow to close out the season, and then we can all have a lovely summer. So that brings us to the cup quiz. The cup quiz. So we've not got. I was hoping Ralph would be here. Right, so you can have the first question between these, right? Can you name the scorers when we played Bucky Thistle in our first cup game this year? I can give you a clue if you like. 2 midfielders, 2 wingers, 1 forward. Who scored against Bucky Thistle in our first cup?
Bernardo get one, didn't he?
Well done, he scored the first, well done, yep.
O'Reilly?
No.
Maeda get one?
No. So you've got 1 midfielder, another midfielder, 2 wingers, and a forward. Monty's just turned his video off while he goes and looks up his phone book.
He's a cheating fucker, isn't he? He's a way to Google.
Oh, no.
Classic fucking class. No one of you beating penalties.
Aye. You don't have any fucking Disney likeys. So there.
Who would be forward? But we only had 1 forward at this point. Idah had joined. We only had...
Well, I'll stab at Hugo.
Correct, right. So we've got Bernardo, Hugo, 1 young midfield starlet.
Was it home?
Home. Thiago Odenholm.
Home scored a cracker. Right, then one of the wingers we've talked about tonight.
No, we already said Maeda didn't.
Who?
Palmer scored. Palmer.
Palmer scored the 4th, and then a young starlet scored the last.
Oh, Daniel Killie.
No, Batter scored. Batter was that Kelly scored, I think, against St Mirren. Batter scored, and apparently he's got a new offer on the table along with Kelly, who's getting sniffed about. Right, so which two teams came from behind twice against Celtic this year in the Cup?
Aberdeen.
Correct. One. Who else?
Livingston.
Correct. Well done, Livingston. Yep, we mentioned a bit. Okay, next one. Who took Celtic's last penalty versus Aberdeen? I've got choice.
It went to sudden death, didn't it?
Hart missed and then Buckman.
Hart missed, and then we had to go again. So who took the last?
It wasn't Idah. Who the fuck was it?
And give you choices.
Bernardo?
I've got to give you choices. Bernardo, Johnson, Iwata.
Bernardo.
Iwata took a lot. Iwata. Yeah, sorry, I didn't want to interrupt you in your defeat there, Monty. Yeah, that's the last one, and then Hart saved the next one. Right, okay. Who has conceded the most goals on the road to Hampden? Celtic or Rangers?
Oh, we lost.
I'm not including extra time, by the way.
So Aberdeen was what? Was that 2 each in 90 minutes, wasn't it? Aberdeen.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Livingston must be us, because Livingston was 4-2. That was another 2 goals, wasn't it?
Has to be us.
We must have conceded the most goals.
Answers. I'm not.
It's got to be Celtic.
Monty, would you concur or are you going for Rangers?
No, it has to be us, Desi. I think we lost a shitload, but are you telling me they've lost more?
Celtic have conceded 4 goals. Rangers conceded 5 goals.
Really?
Rangers even let it go into Dumbarton. Okay, who has scored the most goals on the way to Hampden? Celtic or Rangers?
Well, if they've conceded 5, they've obviously scored far more than 5 then, right? You get 4 against Livy, didn't we? 3 against Aberdeen. No counting extra time. 2 against Aberdeen.
No counting extra time.
Who was the quarter final? We played St Mirren, didn't we? Was that 2-0? Who was this quarter final? And Bucky. Celtic. What was Celtic again?
Okay, Celtic 13, Rangers 10. So there you go. So that was it. Okay, this the wee easy ones. How many times have Celtic won the Scottish Cup?
Oh, fuck's sake.
40, 41, 42. What do you think, Monty?
41, I'm going to guess. 50.
Well done, 41, right.
That's amazing, isn't it, really?
Yep. So tying in what we said earlier, if Celtic equal Rangers trophy count tomorrow, how many is that in total? What do you think, Hector?
Just to be clear, Des, when you say Rangers, do you mean Rangersies?
Rangers is way. Yes.
The Rangers is.
Listen, one club, mate. If your chairman was willing to accept it was one club, then you have to accept it was one club. That's
Rangersies. We'll stick with Rangersies.
That's the rules.
What's it? Right. So here on the last podcast, we had some suggestions for what Tom English and whoever it was in a room, 3 of them. What's the collective noun?
Collective noun for wanks.
A noun for wanks. What's the collective noun for a clutch of Rangerses?
Surely it would be a face paint or a clown member, a custard of Rangerses. Remember Mr. Custard.
An EBT of Rangerses.
An EBT of Rangers, exactly. A trust of Rangerses. Yes. What's the total count of trophies? That is Scottish first tier league championships, Scottish Cup and Scottish
121, Desi?
117.
Well, Rangers have won 117, Celtic 116. Well googled there, Hector. Like the way you did that. Nice. You can't hear Hector saying, City, how many trophies have Rangers won in their lifetimes? So that was that. So there you go. And then Joel Murray, 500. So that was us. So that's us. So let me just check. Let me see where we also put out a tweet regards a limerick for tomorrow, which was, where is it? Let me see. I've seen one person asking for his wife's nomination. So let me just quickly get that and we'll read that out if I can find it. Linda, my better half, said, the cup final is starting on Saturday. Have fears that my Idah will play. Cantwell's on TikTok. Shushburger's getting mocked. And then Jamesy Boy Kerr said, Linda, my better half, said, Belgian Bale's got a pale shade of grey. So we'll give that to Linda with Jamesy Boy. So that's us. So this is the last game of the season tomorrow. We'll have a follow-up podcast later on for the end of season awards, so to speak.
Desi, can I ask a final question?
Somebody's got to Washington to watch Celtic play.
A final question for you two. So where do you start with you, Desi? Will you watch the game tomorrow?
Well, as you know, the sunny south side is the only place to be, really.
It's not Glasgow. On you go.
I will be in the sunny south side village that is lovely Kings Park, out in the back garden with the telly on. I've got various people visiting. There's 2 kegs ready in the perfect draft, one in the fridge, one in the draft. I've just been to Asda for the rest of the carry out, and I've even got new legs for the pool table. That's how prepared I am. So that's my job tomorrow morning.
Are your neighbours of the green persuasion or of the black persuasion?
You forget where I stay in Kings Park. I am in a very nice bit where my neighbours actually they play tennis. They don't bother with football.
So the Rangers fans then?
Yeah. So my neighbour, but again, if anyone knows the south side of Glasgow, apart from the southwest, which doesn't really count, the south, central, southeast, it's just predominantly Celtic. So literally everywhere I look, there's a Celtic fan to one side. Every point of the compass is Celtic fans ordering about me, and next door they're brand new, but they don't bother with football. So the party will be loud and proud out the back for me. So that'll be good. What about you, Monty?
I'll be either here before heading up to the athletic grounds in Armagh or possibly Armagh City to watch it in a pub and then head round. Throw in for the Armagh Westmeath games at 6, so it's kind of tight for the drive up after. So definitely County Armagh.
What sort of crowds would they get for that?
For the round robin series, there'll probably be about 12,000, 14,000 there. So it's like a mini Champions League group, Hector. 4 teams, 3 qualify out of it. The 4 groups of 4. Top 2, the winning team goes straight through the quarterfinals, and then second v third in each group. There's a playoff then to get the other quarterfinal place.
And a wild guess. Sorry, mate. A wild guess. I'm assuming that a lot of the GA football fans, especially in the north, have an inkling towards like soccer, Celtic.
You get, but you'd also get quite a few Hector who just really have no interest in it. Genuinely, they're GAF fans, and soccer's just kind of a foreign sport, as we would say. So,
I mentioned before, like I was in Santa Pons, I think last year, and honestly, God, it took me maybe a couple of days to see a Celtic jersey, even seen a few Rangers jerseys, but all the young kids into Miami tropes and into Miami strips, and almost every adult I saw with a sports jersey on was a GAA trope. It was I just assumed it would be the usual Celtic stuff. No, it was all GAA, and the Waynes were on pink into Miami tropes.
Yeah.
So it's changing. It's clearly changing.
Changing time.
So that was us. So that's us. The only last thing I did have to say was talking about the south side, best of luck to Kieran and Tam, my nephew and his pal, who are resurrecting my old team, Tony Glen Thistle. So God bless, that was a team my dad used to help.
Can Kieran make sure they pass the ball?
No, he's a coach. He's a coach too. So what he does is he just tells them what he's going to
pass and move, Kieran. If you're listening, Kieran, pass and move. Don't be a greedy cunt. Pass and move. Thank you.
Yeah. We went to a Celtic 5-a-side years ago, and Hector's boy was standing basically wondering when my nephew was ever going to pass the ball rather than just shooting it out of the bar every 2 minutes. I still remember the cufflinks. Remember we all get Celtic cufflinks?
Beautiful.
Maybe you should wear
eBay 2 days later.
Islands of Mora, when you hand over your £20 note for a Glen Morangi, they will see your nice cufflinks. What a lovely image. So that's it. This left for me to say thank you very much to Hector Bandido. Hector, you enjoy your Highland trip tomorrow, and hopefully
Highland fling, Desi. Looking forward to it. Thanks, guys.
Excellent. And the man across the water, Monty, hope your team does better tomorrow across all sports. Hopefully you're Monty C for celebration tomorrow. Thank you, Monty.
Thanks very much, Desi. Thanks, lads. Enjoyed that.
Excellent. Okay, folks, thank you very much for listening, and thanks as always for all the comments, etc., and the encouragement. Please follow us on eTimsNet Twitter and let us know you're enjoying it. Best of luck for tomorrow, and hope everyone enjoys the game. All right, my name is Desi and Monty. Good night.